Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Thanks for joining us today.
All right, today we are cracking the code on something huge, MBBS admissions in Karnataka. You know, this state, it holds a really unique key for medical aspirants, so let's just dive right in.
So if you're a medical student anywhere in India, I mean, you know the pressure, right? The competition is it's insane. The stakes are incredibly high. And honestly, sometimes that dream of just getting a seat can feel totally overwhelming. But what if I told you there's a state that offers a completely different pathway? A real, genuine opportunity for pretty much every single qualified student.
Yep, you guessed it. That state is Karnataka. And look, it's not just another option on the list. It's truly a land of opportunity for medical students from all over the country. It's basically a massive hub for medical education. And the scale here, it's honestly staggering. We are talking about more medical colleges and more MBBS seats than any other state in the entire country. This isn't just, a small leg up. It's a massive, massive pool of opportunity.
Okay, so how do you actually tap into this? How do you get a piece of the action? Well, it all comes down to one single, super time-sensitive and completely non-negotiable first step. Seriously, this is the most important part of the whole process. That's it, one form. Think of it like a master key. It unlocks the door to every single one of these colleges. Doesn't matter if it's government, private, or deemed. You can forget about filling out a dozen different applications. This is your one shot to get your foot in the door.
And here it is, the KCED application form. Now we need to clear up a huge misconception right now. A lot of people think this is only for Karnataka students or that it's just for engineering. That is 100% wrong. If you want an MBBS seat in any college in Karnataka, I don't care where you live, this form is mandatory, period.
And here's the part you really need to listen to. The deadline is February 16th. I really cannot stress this enough. If you miss this date, I don't care if you have the top NEET score in the country, you will not be eligible for a seat in Karnataka. It's as simple as that. So consider this your immediate call to action. Okay, so let's say you've submitted the form. You've met the deadline. What's next? What exactly have you just unlocked? Let's break down this incredible landscape of medical colleges that is now open to you.
I mean, just look at these numbers. They really do speak for themselves. 72 medical colleges. That's offering around 14,000 MBBS seats. That's sheer volume. It creates a level of choice you just can't find anywhere else in India.
And it's not just about the numbers. It's about the diversity of options. You've got 24 government colleges, a whopping 36 private ones, and 12 of those highly respected deemed universities. It's this mix, this specific blend, that's the real secret sauce behind why there are so many opportunities here.
But okay, it's not just about the number of colleges, right? It's about the different kinds of seats they offer. And this is where we get into the real strategy. This is where you figure out the path that perfectly fits your NEET score and your budget. So let's focus on the private colleges for a minute. You've basically got three main types of seats. First, there's the government quota, but that's for Karnataka students only, so we'll set that aside. For everyone else, the two you really need to understand are the private P quota and the management or NRI quota. So what's the difference between those two? It's pretty simple, actually. It's a classic trade-off between your score and your budget. For a pure quota seat, you're going to need a higher NEET rank, but the good news is the fees are lower, somewhere in that 8 to 25 lakh range. On the flip side, for a management quota seat, you can get in with a much lower rank. Seriously, just qualifying is often enough. But the budget needed is higher, think 28 to 48 lakhs. And the key thing, both are open to all Indian students.
And that right there, that's the core philosophy of how Karnataka admissions work. It's a super flexible system. It creates a path for the student who scored really high but is on a tighter budget, and it also creates a path for the student who might have a lower score but has a higher budget. The amazing part is, both of them can end up with a seat in a top-notch medical college.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But does it actually work in practice? Let's take a look at some real data from last year. We'll focus on the private P quota seats and see just how achievable this really is.
Wow, just look at this range. You've got a top-tier college like St. John's, which closed around a rank of 6,250. Totally makes sense. But then you have these other excellent institutions like Kempegowda and Videhi, admitting students with ranks around 28,000 to 30,000. And check this out, MS Ramaya, a fantastic college, went up to a rank of over 65,000. And even further, a great place like Adichanchikageri admitted a student with a rank over 150,000. This just proves there's a massive spectrum of opportunity.
And remember, what we just looked at was just for the lower fee P quota. Now think about the management quota. For those seats, the ranks can go as high as 8 lakh, 9 lakh, even 10 lakh. Just let that sink in for a second. It literally means that if you have simply qualified the NEET exam, there is a very real, very tangible path for you to get an MBBS seat in Karnataka.
So, with all of this information on the table, what's the big takeaway here? What does your path forward look like? Let's boil it all down. First, Karnataka offers a truly vast choice of quality medical colleges. Second, there's this amazing strategic flexibility between your NEET score and your budget. Third, and this is the most important thing you'll hear today, that KCET application is your non-negotiable first step. It's your ticket to the game. And finally, getting a seat here is absolutely achievable for a massive spectrum of ranks. It's not some far-off dream. Look, the system is basically designed to give almost everyone a shot. So the question really isn't if you can get a seat anymore. The real question is, how are you going to strategize to get the best one for you? With a clear path for almost every single score, what's your Karnataka story going to be?